be advised that this is the first video to nearly completely contain game footage from me, although for some games I have turned to the internet because of the inability to screen capture them, or the fact that I didn't get the correct footage because of where I was in the game. Anyway, thanks for watching and please enjoy the video. Sunglasses here, and today I'm counting down my top 10 best video games I played in 2015, and there were some really good ones I played this year. Same rules apply as the last video. Now please be aware that many of these, in fact maybe all of the games on this list, are not games that are as good as some of my favourites of all time, like Mario Kart DS, Bayonetta, Bioshock, and Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games. I just started over my words there. So, very sorry for the wait. I know it's been ages, it's because I've been filming games and I've been doing other stuff, and I've been spending absolutely hours on the script, and I've just been really busy. Without further ado, let's go! Bayonetta 2 strikes in at number 10. Now, you may be thinking, why did you put Bayonetta 2 at number 10 when you put the original at number 1 last year? It is so better, so you are stupid for thinking that the first one is better. Well, there are a multitude of reasons, but let's dive into the positives. Firstly, the fact that this is a Bayonetta game that's still fantastic and still contains the characters we love and the gameplay we cherish gives this game at the very least a rating of terrific. Also, there are new awesome weapons, stages and stuff like that, which is pretty interesting. This is good for a game like this because you think that the formula would have been perfected in the first game, but it can get even better. Here's something a tiny bit off topic. Most of the reviews of this game that I've seen were created by people who hadn't, at the time, played the original game, like Icarus, or at least I think he's one of them people. Anyway, the reviews would probably be going down a little bit for the game because they would mention that this game is too similar to the original. The gameplay is the same, the characters are the same, but that's not my problem. The thing is, the menus, game over screens, and music, or most of the music, sound and look exactly the same. The menus have just got a blue style instead of red, which is lazy and not as good. So anyway, game over screens are still exactly the same when it says the witch hunts are over. And I mean that they didn't even change it to blue, and some of the music is repeated from the last game, although now we do have a not as good main theme as well. It sounds like it says, I want huckleberry pie. Like the crap is that? It sounds like it says, I want huckleberry pie. My huckleberry friend. Like the crap is that? Well, I haven't completed the game yet, but so far the story hasn't really engaged me as much as the original Bayonetta. Bayonetta Platinum was able to fully entertain the engrossment of the story for the duration of the game, while still surprising me with plot twists and extra things in the game. Finally, in every single chapter I played, I received a stone medal because I didn't know I was supposed to explore around for certain verses. if I missed more than one verse, then I was guaranteed to get a stone award. This is rubbish because Bayonetta isn't Bioshock. It doesn't have hundreds of things to explore around for. So why the hell should I waste my time doing that crap when there's no other reason why I should? Also, lots of these hidden verses are found in the water. You have to be very, very specific when you get there. You have to be in an exact spot, which is absolutely bold. I think the verses should stay in a linear pattern and not turn into a watered down version of Zelda. Although I've just bashed it a lot, Bayonetta 2 is still a genius and brilliant game, and I recommend it. But if you haven't played the original Bayonetta before, get the Wii U bundle and play that first, or you're stupid. Sonic Colors is one of their rare gems called good modern Sonic games. Now, firstly, this game has, arguably, the best soundtrack heard, in a 3D Sonic game. I just say 3D because nothing can beat Sonic the Hedgehog 2 OST. You just have to see the opening to every one of my Season 2 reviews to figure that out. Anyway, back to Colors. The soundtrack is unique, fast-paced, and overall just brilliant, with most people pointing gladly to reach for the stars.
Got him! Got him!
Secondly, Sonic Colors is a 2D platformer with lots of 3D elements sprinkled in, which is what we probably need more of nowadays, especially after seeing how far 2D Sonic games have fallen with Sonic 4. So I think this type of gameplay needs to stay for the most part. The worlds are absolutely brilliant, with a certain beautiful and wacky topic with them, and all the stages have some sort of challenge and unique feature, which overall improves the atmosphere and coolness of the game. And that's another thing, challenge. Something we haven't seen in a Sonic game since "Oh, kill it with fire!" but haven't actually seen purposely since. Challenge makes a game more rewarding and fun, which is a good thing. Something that I didn't mention in the original draft of this script are the awesome wisps. Wisps are basically abilities that help you through certain levels in a level. From wisps that stick on walls and stuff, to wisps that destroy them. The whole concept of the wisps intrigued me so much, and that's why I love them. Or should I say like them, I don't know. Pick this game up and you'll play one of the best Sonic games for a long, long goddamn time. Class dismissed. 3D platformers definitely are my favourite genre of all time. This is because lots of them contain horrible graphics, bad controls, and bad platforming overall. But one series that's obviously a 3D platformer does always keep up with its quality every single time. It's just the same. Genius. This franchise is Crash Bandicoot. Crash 2 contains everything that made the original Crash Bandicoot great, but times it by 10, adds a lot of extra toppings, and finishes it off with an awesome cover art. Crash 2 has some great levels, including a water level that's worth your goddamn time. The controls are still great, but the graphics are a bit too similar. But I still can't believe that a game that was released just under a year after its predecessor could be so good. It's hard to explain in words, but visually this game is pure bliss. And the music kicks ass as well, so bollocks. For my birthday and Christmas, I got some fantastic games, but one of the best I got was PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale on the PS Vita. This game just kicks so much arse. A major factor in this game is the controls. They are perfect. In fact, they are maybe some of the best controls I've ever experienced in a fighter. The combos are really easy to pull off, with most of them only using the X, circle, square and triangle buttons. It's easy to move about and jump on the platforms, unlike games like Street Fighter where it's actually pretty hard to do. Another great topic of this game is the characters. Some of the characters are really fantastic. We got Big Daddy, to Parappa the Rapper, to Sweet Tooth, to Sly Cooper, and do I need to go on? The only problem with the characters are that there aren't that many, which is a real letdown for this kind of game. Also, some characters like Kratos can absolutely dominate matches, whereas someone like Sackboy loses easily. In your case, what would you do? Play as a weak and easily defeated character, or a character that can kick all the arse in the world? Yeah, I thought so. Luckily, the stages are also pretty good as well, taking place in some of the more popular environments from the games the characters all come from. The backgrounds look pretty cool as well, and in the last minute one of the bosses of that specific game pops up in the background and very occasionally tries to hit the platforms. That's a very neat little touch. Lots of the music combines of remixes of the original games, which helps establish a little bit of spiritual continuity. Overall, this game is great, and it will definitely be one of the first I get on the PS3 if I get one in a couple of years, when it's officially a retro console. I recommend picking this one up. You won't be disappointed at all. In fact, you'll be the 100% opposite. Now, I don't actually own this game. I just played it for a few hours at my brother's friend's house. But that's definitely saying something, because this is number 6 on my list, and I only played it for 2 hours maximum, and it's still up there. That proves that this is a really good game. This game is Rayman Legends for the PS4. This is a must buy for the PS4, and you must buy it as one of your first PS4 games. Wait. Hold the phone. Don't cut me off. Oh, you thought I was at the ending of the explaining because I said that you need to buy it. Okay, I'll let you off, but only this one time. Anyway, Rayman Legends is a really great game because of its innovative level design. Now, a negative first. I was able to finish the first 4 stages and I only died a handful of times because I was testing things out. The thing is, this game is so freaking easy. It's unbelievable. Still not as easy as something like Kirby's Epic Yarn, but still easy. If you've watched my top 10 worst games I played in 2015, you would know that I put Rayman 2 at number 4 on my list. I really didn't like it, but one positive I forgot to mention was that there was at least some challenge. You know, this seems to be some recurring trend with games nowadays. Why the hell is everything so goddamn easy nowadays? Come on, we need rage-inducing games like Ninja Gaiden to be the norm again. Sadly, because of the crappy games market, that's unlikely to happen.
God damn.
Anyway,
Let's get down to business.
now the graphics are absolutely beautiful. They look fantastic and well structured. The cartoony style is really elegant and gives the game a really nice and unique charm, and gives people a massive reason to come back to the series. Secondly, the platforming and the stages in this game make everything a lot nicer. This is a good 2D platformer, and that's because of the amount of things you can do. Firstly, instead of just easily breezing through the level, you have to collect these things called yellow lumps, or you can, but you don't have to but I don't know what to say. Firstly, instead of just easily breezing through the level, you have to collect these things called yellow lumps. If you find yellow lumps, you can earn lots of trophies. This is still not mandatory. So you don't have to do this, but why wouldn't you? It's so easy. If you get these trophies, then you can get a better score on the level, which means you can unlock more things. It's pretty self-explanatory and great. The music is some of the best ever in a video game. It's goddamn fantastic, and I mean every word of that. Also, there is actually a tutorial character that's not annoying. I'm looking at you, Navi. Anyway, Murphy, well, that's his name. Are you related to the Smurfs? I don't know. Helps you with platforming and making things easier while you tread through the environments. He's not patronising and is actually pretty cool. Ubisoft has been pretty rubbish over the past few years. This shows us that at least one of their studios can still create good games. Super Mario 3D World is a massive improvement on Super Mario 3D Land. The most obvious thing is the graphics. They are absolutely gorgeous, with some great and luscious colours and effects displayed across the screen. I like the fact that this is also the first ever 3D Mario game to feature the ability to play co-op with enough of 3 players, which is awesome. Luckily, because of lots of the different viewing angles, you can't get screwed over by your friends via some cheap devs, which is a good thing. So, the characters, that's your friends can players, are Luigi, Peach and Toad. In fact, let's go over the stats of all of them. Mario is an all-rounder, Luigi can jump a lot higher, Peach can hover after jumping and Toad can run fast. So these are basically the same stats as in Super Mario Bros. 2. Also, there is Captain Toad, whose stages I'll talk about later, who can't jump and walks pretty slow. Also, you can unlock Rosalina and use a spin attack. So, that's the characters. Also, the new items in this game are way better than the few that were introduced into Super Mario 3D Land. Firstly, we've got the Super Bell. The Super Bell transforms Mario and his friends into yellow cats that can scowl the walls. Yeah, that's a good description. Give me an award, please, everybody, please, just give me an award. It's so good. Anyway, if you obtain the Super Bell, then you get a new attack that's a lot easier than jumping. Also, you can sprint really fast. So basically, this is like the GOD item, so obviously it's great. I like the design a lot too. The only other new item in this game is the double cherry, which is cool but a bit pointless. Basically, it creates a clone of yourself. It's pretty pointless, as I said, apart from the sections where you collect coins. Luckily, the giant power block is back in a main series Mario title, so it's last been seen in the new Super Mario Bros. DS game. Or at least I think it is, I'm not sure. And that's great because it is a fantastic, however, really underrated and underloved power-up. You can cause havoc across the stage, which is a really good feeling. Oh, what a good feeling. Okay, you don't have to listen to my singing anymore. The music feels really grand, which is the approach that Mario Kart 8 took after this game. Sadly, I don't like the grander theme music as much because it doesn't have that lovely kind of background music. In fact, if we're talking about grander music not being as good, let's do some Mario Kart 8 examples. Anyway, the best thing about this game by far are the stages. There isn't that much to say about them apart from they're extremely unique, from riding a water dinosaur to pretending you're a go-kart in an adventure stage remake of Mario Circuit for Super Mario Kart to goddamn Captain Toad stages. Oh yeah, I should talk about them. Captain Toad stages include Captain Toad, most notably from the Super Mario Galaxy game, solving puzzles where he has to find a bunch of key things to beat the level. It's genius. So genius that they made a whole game involving it. Pick up Super Mario 3D World, you won't regret it. Ding. Super Mario Maker is a great game, apart from a few terrible problems. Well, firstly, you pay bloody 50 quid to get the game, and then you have to come back every day to get new things to create your levels. It's really stupid and that's annoying. Look, I love this game, but I don't like talking about it, so I'll review it some other day. Just needed to get the days thing out of my head. Nah, not really, I'm always joking. So I'm not going to talk about all of this game's features. I'm just going to talk about the ones I really like and ones I don't like. Firstly, I love all of the different themes. Firstly, you get to start off with the Super Mario Bros. And the new Super Mario Bros. U skin graphics, which are pretty cool. But you eventually get the Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World skins, respectively, afterwards. That is a great thing about the game, because you wouldn't be able to replicate the nostalgia and make awesome levels that you can't believe one in the game if there was only one skin. The only problem with the more dated themes is that you can't use all of the stuff that's available in the newer ones. I also really like the goddamn 10 Mario challenge. However, I dislike the 100 Mario challenge because you have 100 lives to complete the same amount of stages. Sadly, half of the stages are either stupid levels or mildly hard ones. That's all I have to say about this game. I love it, but there's a lot of problems. The main reason I love it is because we finally get a chance to create our own awesome levels.
Have you ever played a game that's really, really goddamn awesome? Have you ever played a game that has exhilarated you? A game that has made you want to crave it more and more and just want to keep playing for hours and hours, even if it makes you sick? Yes, I have, and I'll tell you what that game is. Euro Truck Simulator 2012. Nah, I'm only joking. It's Sunset Overdrive on the Xbox One.
Oh my god, is this game fantastic? Well, yes, it goddamn is. This game is the best by absolutely so goddamn far on the Xbox One. Now, this is a bloody great game. The best bit about this game by 10 miles off is getting around. Holy crap, it's genius! Taking inspiration, most likely, from BioShock Infinite, skylines are the go-to way to get around. You can speed up on them, easily jump onto other ones, swing upside down, and that is awesome. Especially since the world of Sunset City is very big and expansive, and if a convenient mode of transport like this was not available, the game would fall apart just like that, so you can say that the skylines are the foundations of the game. Next is the gaming world's best customization system for a character ever. You get to add so many things to your character, and it's great. From famous hats and caps to leggings and pants, the customizable features are extensive and beautiful as all hell. This is really good because if you're able to customize your character to your liking, then you can relate to it more and call it your own. It's also good for people who have massive egos like me, with my cool ass sunglasses and my awesome trousers and stuff like that, who like to dream being the main character in one of their favourite video games. Speaking about characters,
Despite the terrible ways of the apocalypse that our protagonists have had to deal with, it always seems like they
Never worry about a thing, got the world on a string, 'cause I've got the cure for all of my blues.
Before today's miraculous song, we are going to bring you a short announcement that explains that this scene was inspired by the Unusual Suspects Spider-Man 3 review. If you recognise the Da Vinci Notebook song that was just played before this announcement, you will know what this song is. Anyway, let's get to it.
I take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start melting away. I take a look at my enormous penis, and the happy times are coming to stay. I gotta sing and I dance when I glance in my pants, and the feeling's like a sunshiny day. I take a look at my enormous penis, and everything is going my way.
LOL, I'm so funny. Anyway, back to it. So back to the characters. They all have incredibly funny and unique personalities. From a black guy who's obsessed with cooking up amps and a stupid, actually really clever, shy but fiery nerd, to a tribe of people who think they'd steal the 1500s, and a group of Spanish cheerleaders who are obsessed with children, smashing people's brains out, and just overall being really annoying. All of the characters in this game are great. If you count the enemies as well, I really like the OD. There are many different types of the OD. My favourite of the OD are the wingers. You find them during the floating garbage mission when they are trying to attack ye hearty ship while you reckon ye trash. They look like dragons, which is really interesting. There are also the Scab Clan, that are a bunch of humans who for whatever reason want to kill you because they like killing. All the scabs are exactly the same in design. They all have red lights on their forehead and wear black any time of the day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, the scabs blare black any time of the day, as I just said before. Finally, there are the Physco robots, which are really cool. They aren't the hardest enemies in the game, that would go to the scabs, but they are the rarest, only appearing 4 or so times in the game. They have a nice white and blue design. They are still quite hard to kill, but they are a lot easier when you buy the Physco rifle, which can be used on anything. So that's the guns. So next is the music. Onto the guns. Lots of the guns are really cool. We have guns like the Flaming Compensator to Dirty Harry. Lots of these guns have different purposes and also look different, in fact very different in design and personality. Well, if a gun actually did have personality. So, the guns are pretty cool, but how about the music? The music is really great, with most of it being a great combination of rock and metal, which is really interesting. It makes the game more exhilarating during the times when you're conquering the walls by power. Now let's turn graphical. The graphics in this game are fabulous. They are incredibly beautiful and ream with colour. Most of the colours are orange, white, black and a kind of brownish grey. The frame rate is incredibly stable, even though there are tons and tons of things going on at once, unlike Sonic Generations, where if you go fast in the 3D stages, then your frame rate drops to a massive halt. Now let's talk about the very few things I don't like in this game. Firstly, to get people to like you and do the things you want, you have to do loads of really annoying and laborious tasks. That is annoying. It would be alright if this happened once or twice, but this is most of the game. That's really bad, and I think it makes the game really repetitive at times. Also, I really like the amp sections when you protect them. However, you have to collect materials, which can be very hard, and you can't progress in the game until you've done that stuff. Other than that, there isn't that much wrong with the game at all. Well, kinda. Get the reference, Doctor Who? Okay, no.
Okay, because I've been writing this section for 26 lines now, although, to be brutally honest, not all of them lines have been completely filled up, I am going to give a quick conclusion, which I think is fair because of how long this section's been going on.
27 lines. Sunset Overdrive is an absolutely beautiful and genius game. It's got a fantastic overworld that is absolutely extensive and beams with bright and lovely colours. The game contains one of the best customization, 28 lines now, systems seen in a video game, with a massive library of costumes, accessories and more. This game has some very fluent controls, which is most definitely necessary with the type of gameplay this game has, like the flying in 29 lines, the sky with the skylines, and the conquering of the walls. Mixed with a fantastic soundtrack, some incredibly awesome characters and weapons more enjoyable than Buttkiss spinning on a tricycle while MLG Peppa Pig plays 30 lines in the background incredibly loudly makes Sunset Overdrive the best game in the Xbox One's library and an absolute best buy. If you don't buy this, then you're stupid, or you're just too young for it. There is a lot of swearing, and the game breaks the fourth wall so many times. And now it's 31 lines. Was released in 1998 in the arcades and Namco's second major fighting franchise after Tekken. Despite lots of its major similarities to Tekken, there were some nice additions and a better arcade mode story. In 2002, Soul Calibur 2 was released in the arcades but wouldn't be released for the console platforms until 2003. 12 years later, I picked up the GameCube version at Play Margate for £10 and it was absolutely worth it. And this game was so awesome that I played it in the intro of my Peggle review. And I don't usually play other games in my reviews, unless I'm referencing other games in my reviews. So yeah. The thing that's really good is it still has the basic fighting system that Tekken does, except it seems like there are less and less combos and the controls have been limited down to the bare bones 2 hit buttons. Most of the time that would be a bad thing, but Super Smash Bros never had combos from the start, which means it can't all be bad. In fact, these 2 buttons are basically exactly the same as Smash. One button for normal punching and the other for special moves that are more powerful but take longer to perform. However, unlike Smash, Soul Calibur still retains the 90 seconds, 3 rounds and knockout formula that most fighters before and after it have done. Personally, I actually prefer this. Yeah, I prefer this over the combo version when it's done well, which it most definitely has been here. The health has been balanced out fairly and the difficulty is the same as well. I think my favourite thing about this game is that you can still hit people after you've won the round. Boom! Ah! Boom! Also, I like that you can hit people off the stage like in Smash, but it's only optional. It's hard and also isn't the main focus of the game, so yeah, optional. I think that a really impressive aspect of the game is that there is an archive that lists every detail of the characters in the game, including their story, background and picture. God, I didn't know that a fighter would become a video game version of Facebook. There is no definitive best version of this game, well at first, because the PS2, Xbox and GameCube editions have Hiachi Machinima, Spawn and Link as exclusive guests respectively. However, I think the GameCube version is the best because the PS2 version doesn't have the best graphics and doesn't have the best controls, whereas the Xbox version does have some great graphics but doesn't have very good controls because of the controller. However, the GameCube version has some great graphics and the best controls, so obviously that's why it's the best. However, I do not think the same of the box arts because all of them are great. So that's Soul Calibur 2. I haven't really explained how this is my favourite fighting game of all time that well. But I have explained how this is a great game. Buy it and never regret it.
Number 1 is a fantastic game, and that is fantastic.
Fantastic! Oh, fantastic!
The only console that I obtained this year was the PS Vita, which, in my opinion, is the best portable console released in the last 5 years. Sadly, most of the games on the PS Vita are fighters, like PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale and Street Fighter X Tekken. So that takes away 2 of my PS Vita opportunities, which is kind of a good thing. But that gives me a chance for a few honorable mentions.
The Ratchet & Clank trilogy on the PS Vita is really great and is a great nod back to the awesome PS2 series. It was a good graphical upgrade as well. Another honourable mention is Rare Replay. The only reason Rare Replay isn't on my list is because, despite it being an absolutely smashing collection, it doesn't add that much new to any of the old game's features, which is a disappointment. Finally, Sonic Rivals 2 for the PSP is a really fun experience that thoroughly entertained me. It has some really interesting stages, although it's a bit hard a bit too soon.
The PS Vita game that I'm going to be talking about now that I've gone through the honourable mentions is a great game, a really, really good game. It's an action RPG with elements of adventure and fantasy mixed in, which is really awesome. The game I'm mentioning has an absolutely brilliant story, and also the game I'm mentioning was developed by 3 separate developers. This game is Freedom Wars.
Freedom Wars is a 2014 action RPG developed by Japan Studios Shift and Dimps, released for the PS Vita. This game is just so goddamn awesome. The best thing by far is the story. It is genius. Basically, you're fighting for the Panopticon until you lose your memory. Because of that, you are locked up and have to climb back up the warrior levels by losing years off your 1 million years sentence. This is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with your host, That Dude with the Sunglasses. This is a question, a £1 million question, for all you viewers at home. Get ready. How long would it usually take to go through a 1 million year prison sentence? Would it be A, 2 years, B, 3 years, C, 100,000 years, or D, 1 million years? You've decided? So, now, 1 million? Are you sure? Good. Good, good, good. Perfect, 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 perfect. Okay. And we're just gonna take a short break. And we're back. So, let's find out the answer to see if you, the viewers of home, have won the £1 million prize. £1 million is correct. You've won yourself £1 million. You are awesome. Now back to That Dude with the Sunglasses from the past for more on Freedom Wars. Thank you very much, James. Or should I say, that dude from the future. Because of that, you are locked up and have to climb back up the warrior levels by losing years off your
1 million
year sentence. You do this by taking part in missions with your fellow prison members. These missions include you destroying the evil of the other Panopticons. As the game progresses, you get into higher levels as your prison sentence decreases, which means you get more permissions to do things like going around the prison complex in places like the bar. The story deepens later on when you rescue a mysterious girl called Beatrice from the cell garden. From there, lots of conflict is involved, which I'm not going to mention due to spoilers, but I will admit it gets incredibly clever and philosophical regarding the fictional politics of the game, which makes it fantastic. Next are the great characters. I should probably mention the customization system, if I'm as intelligent as I always say. While not as fleshed out and expansive as Sunset Overdrive system, it's really good and contains lots of pages of styles and things like that. First, I should mention the accessories, and by that I don't mean accessories as we know. I mean the robot accessories that help you battle, and make sure you don't break the rules. The accessories are fully customizable, like yourself, which makes it seem like your bodyguard. The only problem with the accessories is, even though you can revive other people's accessories, you are the only person who can revive your accessory, which can be very annoying in boss battles. There are characters like Matthias, you and Beatrice, who all have different personalities but are in some way your friend. However, there are characters like Natalia and Elfriede, I think that's how you pronounce it, Elfriede, I don't know, who don't really like you but still battle with you to save the Panopticon. The main factor of this game is by far the gameplay. Oh my god, it's brilliant. There are about 7 or so missions for each level you're on. They get progressively harder all the time. Basically, you have to destroy some massive enemies, while other characters, like yourself, try to protect them and murder you. That's not what all the missions are though, because there are lots of others as well. My favourite of these other missions are the ones where you're battling against the enemies to save the civilians. Those missions are fun because you have 2 objectives. The final thing that I'll mention with this game, so I don't lose too much original content for a possible review, are the weapons. You can buy lots of different weapons like swords and guns. I think it's best to have a sword because it does more damage to the more tougher enemies, and a gun so you can easily kill smaller enemies and enemies that are hard to reach. I believe that would be the best combo. Let's put it to the test. Awesome. So Freedom Wars is the best game I played last year, but what was yours? I hope you enjoyed the video guys, and if you did, please consider hitting the like video.
So at the time I'm filming this is the day that the video is going to hopefully get released. Hopefully, I hope it gets released today. So this was an idea that also came to me today, and the reason I'm doing this outside is because you can't really see it from this angle, but this is lovely weather. Let me just show you. Sun. It's the sun! For once, it's the sun! Anyway, so this idea came to me from a friend, which I'll shout out in a minute. This is shout out, so I'm going to do 2 shout outs at the very least at the end of each That Dude with the Sunglasses episode. So top 10 or review, something like that. Not all my videos, because then I'll lose if I do 2 shout outs a video, then I'll lose all my shout outs straight away. So here is how you get a shout out before I mention my shout outs. You get a shout out by leaving a constructive comment or a joke. So basically leave a joke, something like leave something like the past, present and future walked into a bar, it was tense. Or you can say something like, I really liked your video man, but I think you should do editing a bit better and you should use you should have some more footage cuts. Then that's constructive criticism. Although if you just say great video, that's constructive criticism. The way you don't get a shout out is asking for a shout out and saying, please give me a shout out. Well, please give me a shout out. Just saying, please give me a shout out and not saying great video or anything. That won't get you a shout out, that won't get you anywhere. And if you need violence or kind of things that aren't very nice, like I once got a comment that said on my Sky On Demand rant, which I think I deleted at this point, it said, you stupid, ugly F-word. Beep. You stupid ugly. Them comments will not get you anywhere because that's not constructive criticism. It said, oh, stupid video man, oh my god, you're so stupid, you've got big tits, all of that. Basically, that is not constructive video criticism, because you're not saying why you didn't like the video, and also at the same time you're abusing me as well. I won't report you for abusing me, only idiots do that. And I won't say it's cyberbullying either, because, yeah, but you just won't get a shout out for it. So any comment, apart from the ones I said, most of the time will get a shout out. So yeah, my shout outs. My first shout out is Harry Beaton. This is actually the reason why I'm actually trying to get all the production of this video done as soon as possible. Harry Beaton, even though I'm so weird at school, I'm such a bloody idiot, I am so stupid at school, I'm so weird, he still sticks with me and talks to me a lot, and that's awesome, and I think he's actually quite a good friend, and he was probably one of the first people I actually probably talked to on the first day all our classmates met. My second one goes to Karen Claire, who's also awesome. He was my 50th subscriber, I believe, before someone decided to unsubscribe. And I got a load more. And he's awesome. Like he thinks I'm weird. We're cool. We like doing stuff. Not that. No. Don't even think about. Don't you dare even think about that. What I mean is like helping each other with math. Overall being quite good buddies, but yeah, they're my two shout outs. They didn't actually do anything really to get a shout out apart from Karen. We invented the idea of the shout outs, so he'll probably so he could get a shout out, and Harry said he would like a shout out because we're good friends, so that's fine. So yeah, and also I should probably mention the next review I'm going to be doing is a game where you smash someone's brains out with just imagine that this is a golf club. Woo! So anyway, that's that. So from my old self 2 weeks ago, I'm going to say thank you. My